Welcome to my channel. Today we will start trigonometry and bearing exercise 6.5 from question number 5. In this question, there are two pillars of equal height stand on either side of roadways which is 120 meter wide. So these are the two pillars. The height is h, both pillars having the equal height. The distance between these two pillars is equals to 120 meters. This is our horizontal line, and from the horizontal line there is a point on this roadway. On that point, the angle of elevation towards the pillar is 60 degree and towards the other pillar is 30 degree. So we have to find the height of each pillar and we have to find the position of that point. Let that point is x distance from one of the pillar. So if the total distance is 120 meter and this distance we assume it x, then the remaining distance should be 120 minus x. So the remaining distance should be 120 minus the x value. So as this problem involves the base and the perpendicular, because perpendicular is the height of the pillar and base is the from the distance from the point to the pillar 120 minus x, and in this triangle the distance from the point to the pillar is x. So either way we have to solve it with the help of tan of theta. So tan of theta is equals to perpendicular divided by base. Now first we solve 120 minus x. This is the base of triangle and h is the perpendicular. The angle of this triangle is 30 degree. So putting that value, tan 30 degree is equals to h over 120 minus x. So doing some mathematical work and doing some cross multiplication, we will get the equation for the h, which is equals to 0.58 into 120 minus x. Now we have to solve the other triangle to get another equation. So tan theta is equals to perpendicular over base. So tan 60 degree is equals to h over x. H is perpendicular and x is the base of our second triangle. Now this triangle will give us this equation, 1.73 times x is equals to h. So this equation, h is equals to this value and here h is equals to this value. So we can equate both of the equations as we put the value of h from second equation into our first equation. So and we will get our third equation, which is in only one variable x. After doing some mathematical work, and we will get the value of the x point, which is 30.13 meters from one of the pillar. And now as we know the value of x, we can put the value of x in any equation, in the first equation or in the second equation. So because the second equation is short equation, so we will put the value of x in the second equation. So h is equals to 1.73 times x. So h is equals to 1.73 into 30.13, which is equals to 52 meters. So this is the height of both of the pillars. Now moving on toward question number 6. From the top of the tower of height 120 meter. From the top of the tower's height is 120 meter. This is the horizontal line. The angle of depression of the two boards on the same side of tower at water level are 60 degree and 45 degree. So from the horizontal line we will construct our angle of depressions. For the first board the angle of depression is 60 degree and for the second board the angle of depression is 45 degrees. So by completing our triangles, this is the base of our first triangle. This is the distance of tower and the first board, between the tower and the first board. Let this distance be x. So x is equals to distance of the first board. Now for the second board, the distance from the tower base to the second board is equals to y value. So y is equals to distance of the second board. We will calculate the distance of the first board and then we will calculate the distance of the second board, and then the question is that we have to find the distance between the boards. So how we will get the distance between the board? distance between the boards should be equals to y minus x. The distance of the second board from the tower, if we minus that distance from the distance of the first board from the tower, we will get the distance between the boards. So in this problem we need the base of these two triangles, and as we know the angle of depression for the first triangle is 60 degree, and we also know that the alternate angles of two parallel lines should be equals. So similarly, so both of these angle, if this angle is 45 degree, then the angle here should be 45 degree, and if this angle is 60 degree, the angle formed at this base should be 60 degree, because alternate angles of the parallel lines should be equal. So now we will use tan theta because it equals to perpendicular over base. Solving our first triangle, for the first board we will get the distance of first board from the tower. By doing mathematical calculation, we will get the distance of first board is equal to 69.28 meters. Now we will calculate the distance of second board. Tan theta is equal to perpendicular over base. By putting the values from the figure, we will get the value of y. The distance of the second board from the tower is 120 meter. So we need to calculate distance between the boards. To calculate distance between the boards, we will minus 120 from 69.28. So our final answer will be 50.72, which will be rounded to 50.7 meters. So this is the distance between the two boards. Now moving on toward the seventh question, two men on the opposite sides of the tree are in line with it. They observe an angle of elevation. If this is the distance of the first man and this is the distance of the second man, and both are in line with each other, it means they are on the same line. And they observe the angle of elevation of top of the tree is 30 degree. So if first man observe the angle of elevation to the top of the tree is 30 degree, and second man observe that from his position the angle of elevation to the top of the tree is 60 degree, and further we know that the height of the tree is 15 meter. Find the distance between the men. We have to find the distance between these two men. So in this triangle there is a common perpendicular both of the triangle, and we need to calculate two bases: the distance of first man from the tree and distance of the second man from the tree. Then we have to add these two distance together to calculate our answer. So suppose that the first man is at the x distance from the tree and second man is the y distance from the tree. So the distance between the men should be equals to x plus y. So to solve this triangle, the trigonometric ratio is tan of theta, which is equal to perpendicular divided by base. Putting the value of our first triangle, tan 30 is equal to 15 by x, and doing some mathematical work, we will get the value of x, which is 25.98 meter, the distance of first man from the tree. Now we will calculate the distance of the second man with the same method. So tan 60 degree is equals 15 divided by y, and we get the distance y is equals to 8.66 meters. Now adding these two distances together, we will get 34.64 meter, which will be round off to 34.7 meters. So this is the answer of this question. Now moving on toward the question number 8. From the top of the tree, the angle of elevation and depression of a top and the bottom of a buildings are 30 degree and 45 degree. This is our horizontal line, and from that line the angle of elevation from the tree top to the building top is 30 degree, and the angle of depression from the top of the tree to the bottom of the building is 45 degrees. And we know that the height of the tree is 12 meter. So we have to find the distance. We have to find the distance between the tree and the building. So we denoted that distance with the d. And we also know that the alternate angles for two parallel lines should be equal. So if this is 45 degrees, then this angle should also equals to 45 degrees. And if we solve the upper triangle, we will get this perpendicular which is equals to x. This is one of the part of the building height, and the remaining part of the building height will be the y. We calculate the height of the building by adding x and y together. So as you know that the y is exactly equals to 12 meter, because the height of the tree and the height of this portion of the building should be equal. Now we will solve the triangle for the distance perpendicular divided by base. Now putting the value in this equation, we will get the distance between the tree and the building, which is 12 meter. Now this distance is 12 meter, then the distance of this horizontal line from which we have started our question is also equals to 12 meter. So we will get the base of the upper triangle. Now we have the base of the upper triangle and we have the angle of the triangle. We can calculate the value of x. So as you know the information that y is equals to height of the tree, I already told you. So y is equals to 12 meter. Now we need the value of x. So to do that we have to use tan theta again, putting the value perpendicular divided by base, because we know that this base is equals to the distance between tree and the building, which is 12 meter, and after solving that we will get the value of x. So the height of the building is equals to, if we add all the things together, the height of the building is 18.93 meter. Now we will start question number 9. From a point A at a distance of 200 meter, this point is 200 meter away from the tower, the angle of elevation from this point towards the tower is alpha. There is another point B, 80 meter nearer to the tower. 80 meter nearer to the tower means it is 80 meter away from A point. So this point is 80 meter away from point A. The remaining distance between the point B and the tower should be equals to 200 minus 80, which is equals to 120 meter. And from this point the angle of elevation is beta. Further we have an information that tan alpha is equals to 2 by 5. We have to find the height of the tower and the angle beta. Now to calculate the height we have the information of tan alpha. So we will solve the triangle which contains the alpha angle first. So as we know that tan alpha is equals to perpendicular over base. The value of the perpendicular is h and the value of the base is 200, because point A is 200 meter away from the tower. We also know that tan alpha is equals to 2 by 5. So putting the value of tan alpha here, 2 by 5 is equals to h by 200. Doing some mathematical work and we will get the height of the tower, which is equals to 80 meter. Now we have height of the tower and we have the distance of point B from the tower, which is equals to 120 meter. So we can calculate the beta angle. To calculate the beta angle, tan beta is equals to perpendicular divided by base. So 80 divided by 120, beta is equals to tan inverse of that, and by using calculator we will get the answer 33.69 degrees. So this is the angle beta and the height of the tower is 80 meter. Now moving towards the next question, the question number 10, the last question of this exercise. A boat is moving from the lighthouse. Here the height of the lighthouse is given to us, which is equals to 206.6 meter. The boat is at the initial position. So at this position the boat is making an angle of 60 degree with the lighthouse top, and the distance between the boat and the lighthouse is equals to d1. Then in 120 seconds the boat moves to a new location. At that new location the distance from the boat and the lighthouse is d2, and its angle of elevation with the top of the lighthouse is 45 degrees. We have to calculate the speed of the boat. To calculate the speed of the boat we need the distance which is traveled in 120 seconds. So in 120 seconds the boat moves from initial position to the final position. This yellow line is showing the distance which the boat travels in 120 seconds. So we have to calculate the distance d2 minus d1, which is equals to x. So we need this x distance and we have the time. So first we calculate the x distance to calculate the velocity of the boat. So again, there are two triangles. We have perpendicular value and we have angle. So we will use the tan theta. Tan theta is equals to perpendicular over base. In these problems we need to calculate the base value. So putting the value height of the lighthouse and the angle of elevation, we will get the first distance, which is equals to 119.28 meters. This is the distance of the boat when it making an angle of 60 degree with the lighthouse. Now the boat moves after 120 seconds. The scenarios was changed. The angle was 45 degree, but the lighthouse height remains the same, and d2 will be changed. So d2 will equals to 206.6 meter. Now we are interested to find the distance from first position to the next position, the final position, initial position to the final position. So x is equals to d2 minus d1. So doing that, some mathematical work here, we will get the distance traveled by the boat in 120 seconds is 87.32 meters. So as we know that the velocity is equals to distance divided by time, here x divided by t. So x is equals to 87.32 and time is equals to 120 seconds. The velocity of the boat is equals to 0.73 meters per seconds. So our exercise 6.4 is completed, and in the next video we will start exercise 6.6. Thank you very much.